party with us. Take a shot of Patrol, and let me know when you get enough. You know the rhythm is on, and everybody's feeling the buzz. You ain't gotta go home, 'cause you can stay and party with us. Yeah, you can stay and party with us. Yeah, you can stay and party with us. Yeah, you can stay and party with us.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Brunch with Black Tea. Thank you guys for joining us at the table today. We appreciate you every first and third Sunday of the month, where we are bringing you guys some beautiful, wonderful dishes that you can make at home, and also some good conversation, child. You know that conversation is always needed to be had. How are you today, Miss California Cutie?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good, girl. We waiting
doing
on
very well.
She is coming in with us, but don't fret. We will be all three here with you guys today to give you guys some wonderful conversation. So, Miss CC, I'm gonna let you get started today with brunch, child, because now we all heard about these things, we all eat them, but we wanna see what it is that you prepared for your little brunch thing today.
So I brought to you guys a little something that my kids they begged me to make these. Now we used to see these at 7-Eleven, you guys. Like early morning, I'll go pick them up for school and rush and go to 7-Eleven and grab what you want. We either get an old school coffee cake, which was our thing to do because y'all know how the old school coffee cake is when you were in elementary school. The coffee cake was the best. So they started bringing them back and they were at 7-Eleven. But then one day we saw this thing called a brookie. And we was like, brookie? What the hell is that? It's a brownie and a cookie mixed together. So I made a brookie.
So you use chocolate chip cookies, right? Chocolate.
That's chocolate chip cookies. So
okay.
So you can either buy it separately, or you can buy it. They have it together. I think Betty Crocker has it together. So it comes with a brownie pouch, and it comes with a chocolate chip. It's not already dough already, so it's powder form. And so you make your brownies with the water and the oil, and then you dump that in the pan, and then you mix up your cookie dough with the butter and a little bit of water. That's all you need for that, soft butter. You mix that up, and then you plop your little cookie doughs at each little spot, and you bake it together, and it comes out like that. And then you have a little bit of cookie and a little bit of brownie, which makes it a brookie. And the kids go absolutely nuts because it's like, you know how sometimes you be like, I want a brownie, I kind of want a cookie. So to have them together is amazing, and it does have the brownie chewiness to it, and it does have the softness of the chocolate chip cookie.
Well, I tell you one thing, anybody craving both, that's gonna give them the best of both worlds, honey. Because I know sometimes, two or something, I'm like, how can I get this? So
you only need a little bit too. You don't need to make a big old chunk of brownie this big. You actually can cut that in half because the sweetness is so good. You don't need a lot. Like less is more. Okay. So as y'all know, I'm on my workout journey. So I'm definitely only gonna have probably 2 bites of it a day.
We all been on that workout thing, and your inspiration is really helping us out a lot, and I appreciate it because it makes me get up every day too and be like, okay, girl, let me get my workout. Then I go to you and I look and say, okay, she was lying. Okay, yeah, look what they did, So it's always good to have a reference, and I appreciate that reference. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Somebody's looking for us on YouTube. So
go ahead. You had a yes kind of Candy's in the backstage, but it's blank. So I'm scared to bring her up because I don't want her to just be white on the screen, and then she, we can't. Maybe we can hear her. Let me see. Hey, okay. Candy, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I don't know why I'm blank.
Okay, so go to your stop cam, and it should bring up like your C again or whatever, and we still be able to hear you. So you're just not blank. You see where? Yeah. Okay. So until we can figure it out,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure which device you're on, but when you're ready, you can try and pop back in.
Okay.
We definitely can hear you. How are you doing today?
I'm well, and yourself?
We're
How
good.
are you
All
doing?
right. Well, while Candy's getting herself together and coming on sit at the table with us today, I'm gonna go ahead and just show you guys. So today, what I did was I did something. Well, I'm giving you half of what I did. And this is the salad and the tea. So, child, let me tell y'all, this salad right here is a very filling salad. It has fresh blueberries, fresh strawberries. Please excuse the way I say that word. I've never been able to say it. Some mixed greens, some fresh red onion. We got a little bit of glazed walnuts in there. We got a little feta cheese and some. I sauteed the chicken. You can grill the chicken though, but I sauteed it this morning. But a little bit of sauteed chicken on the side, garlic chicken on the side, and you put a blush vinaigrette, which is pretty much a strawberry vinaigrette on top. And oh my gosh, you guys, this is such a really good salad. It's so delicious, so easy to make, and people will love it. That's a little bit of a close up, kind of get a little bit more there. It's
I'm gonna tell
really
you what, it
Go
looks
ahead.
so good, and I don't eat. I don't mix my vegetables with my fruit ever. I've tried to. I ain't gonna say I tried to. I probably had a bite of somebody's that I didn't know had fruit in it, and I was like, because I'm really a creature of habit. But as I'm getting older, my palate is changing, and even with vinaigrettes, I don't really like those that much. I tried them. Like my husband likes to put his chicken in there, marinate it in there, and then I could taste it. And I'm like, okay, it tastes pretty good warm. Now cold. I'm just not into it. I'm trying to get into it, but that really looked good. Like my mouth kind of started watering a little bit because I do love strawberries. I love strawberries. And I'm not really into feta cheese like that. Only when we used to work at the pizza spot together that you and I worked at Pizza Studio some years back. Is the first time I ever had feta cheese ever. And so, I mean, like for me, I want to try it. Like I want to try it.
I'm gonna have to get you. I'm gonna have to make it up.
You have to make one.
Try it, and it's surprising because a lot of people say the same thing. Like I kind of had like a confused look too when I first started eating. I first taste the fruit in the salad when it was first introduced to me. So I was like,
my girl go.
Oh, hey, Candy girl.
I'm having technical difficulties there.
When you try it, when you put the feta cheese with the vinaigrette and the but don't just get an Italian dressing. You got to get a.
Now, when you said you killed it when you said strawberry with the strawberries on it.
Yeah.
Only I can make fun of her or Candy. Y'all can't do it.
Right.
She can't say STR words. If it got an STR together,
it ain't working.
Give it up. It ain't gonna go together for her. And that's why I love her accent. Just like how she say coffee and sauteed. It's the sauteed and it's the coffee. Those accents that she have is beautiful. So but yes, not to take away from you. And the walnuts, like girl, and I just started like Damon, my husband loves he'll put sunflower seeds in his. Now I tried that and I was like, okay, that's pretty good. This is good.
You gotta venture out there, do some different stuff, and introduce different things to different people. So when they leave your house or they leave your brunch, they're gonna be like, "Child, I'm about to go home and try and make that." Like I do every single time. Hey kids.
Hey kids.
Baby. Every time
the nanny cakes. Hey nanny.
Cakes. Every time. We go somewhere. I always say I'm gonna go home and try and make this. You know what I'm saying? I always go.
That's my favorite thing, especially if I like it and it's simple. I'm like, I can make this at home, right?
Yes, honey. Inspiration. It comes
have more of it, right?
Man, so
add a little bit more to what they did.
Exactly.
So yes, always when you add, when you do it yourself, especially like you said, if you get an inspiration and you be like, this would be good if you add a little cheese or a little onion or a little this or that or a little cilantro.
Let me ask you, Miko, did you have meat? I'm sorry to cut you off, but did you have is no chicken or anything in it?
Yeah, it's chicken. So this one has
on the
Oh,
side.
okay, I see. Okay.
It looked like
I
shrimp
just I just took
and
the
with my
picture.
eyes.
I was gonna say you
Um,
can do shrimp. You can do shrimp too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can do shrimp, you can do steak. I've seen
Mhm.
people do different types. I can't say that word either, y'all. So don't just, don't laugh at me. But different types of protein. And even if you're vegan or vegetarian, you can put, your fish in there, or you can just not put any type of meat at
Meat.
all. No fish, no meat or anything in it. And it's really good even without it. So
Mhm.
it's just a really good either, brunch starter or brunch meal. You can even make it into a meal, add some, garlic toast or some type of bagel or some type of, cornbread or something on the side. And you would definitely, get a nice little meal out of that if you want something light and simple. And put a nice little sparkling wine with that. Oh my goodness gracious. It will be so good. You guys, trust me.
We done went
You
from
would love
brunch
it.
to dinner with that meal, right?
Okay.
You can. Yes, you can. And it goes so far and it's so good. I think you will please a lot of people at the table with that. So when they come join us at the table and we serve that, we know we get some happy faces walking away. Trust me.
Mhm.
Question:
But
when you
child, yeah.
wait before you go move on, that dressing that you said it was strawberry vinaigrette.
It's called blush, but it's made
Okay,
with strawberry. Uh-huh.
okay.
So it's a
Because it's
blush
all,
vinaigrette, but it's made with strawberries. And I don't know why they call it blush instead of strawberry vinaigrette, but some people do,
it
some
sound
people don't.
better. It sound
I
better.
think yeah, and some brands call it that, some brands don't. They'll just put the strawberry on there to let you know that that's what it's made from.
Okay, because don't
But
they have a raspberry?
I was getting ready to
they do,
say they have a
no,
raspberry one. I
yeah,
literally was ready to say that,
raspberry
but yeah,
vinaigrette is very popular. It's something,
My husband
that's been around for a while,
yeah.
They
Damon
even
likes all of
they have
those.
a raspberry walnut that is, oh my gosh, it is so good. It cuts the sweetness a little. Y'all saw the eyes, right?
Yeah,
Cuts
that's why I laughed
this a
hard.
little
Did you?
bit, right, child? I'm
She was
telling you,
feeling
honey.
that.
Ooh, girl.
The way
So
her eyes rolled, I said, "Damn, that shit must be really
yeah,
good."
yeah, it's good. You got to try that. So try the strawberry walnut, try the blush, or raspberry walnut. Try the blush or strawberry vinaigrette, whichever one. And I've made, but I've never seen it. But if you do a blueberry vinaigrette and use that one's good too. But I made that one from scratch, and we'll do that on another one where I
That's
can make a vinaigrette from scratch. It's so
that's why
good.
I asked you. That's what was going.
Fresh.
Why I asked you if did you say it was a strawberry vinaigrette? Did you make the strawberry? Did you put the strawberry? Because that was gonna be my next. Did you make this?
Yeah,
You
I
know, you
did
made
make
the
it.
balsamic and then you just put the strawberries in there and parade or something. That's
Right.
what I was
I didn't
thinking.
make this vinaigrette this time, but I will make a blueberry one because that one is so good, freshly made. Oh my gosh. Ooh, wait till you guys see it and try it because I know you guys want to try. We're gonna all try it, honey child. But you know what, guys, I gotta honey, move on into this conversation for today because
Yes.
it's a conversation that's being had a lot of places. Now, when I first saw it pop up, I get alerts because I watch, other different shows on YouTube and podcasts or whatnot. But I came across a show where they were talking about the the responsibilities between working moms and working dads. Like, the expectations, the responsibilities, how do everything measure out? And I guess, so let me just say it like this. The conversation started when I saw a show with Tia Mari. And she was very emotional. She was pretty much talking about the fact that she is a working mother, out there. She's in the industry, she's working, and she is married, but she misses more of, the kids and the life with her kids than her husband does because her husband's there more. But she holds more of the parenting responsibilities, like when she gets home, because she wants to jump in there and give baths and, and look over homework and do different things that she probably missed throughout the day or from the day before when she wasn't home or anything. And although they are balancing their life together and equally, her responsibility is a little bit more than it is for, her husband. Even though she says she's not complaining, it's just something that has happened. But even though they have the same type of responsibility expectations, the level of expectations on being the parent is different because she still holds most of that, as busy as she is. So I guess my question is going to be, to kick this off, is how many people or how many women out there, or even men, feel like this is a tug of war in their situations? I feel like, as mothers, working mothers, we do have a lot more responsibility because the kids naturally gravitate towards us when we come, when we get there, get home. As soon as we hit the door, even before we hit the door, it's like, mom, 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 mom. Dad is just like, in case mom is not around, or in case mom says no. But, but the kids tend to, but then a lot of times, a lot of men, and I was reading too, like in the Working Mothers magazine, a lot of men that do not see that being like a bad thing or an issue because they are the same way. They gravitate to us as the parent, even though they're a parent too. So I guess I'm saying it to say, how many of you women, or what is your thoughts on the fact that we are still required to bring in the income, provide for the family, and still hold up our motherly, our wifely duties in the household? Where do the men fall into play at? So what do you guys think? Give me your thoughts.
Go ahead, Candy.
Oh, I was going to let you take the lead on this
Are
one.
you gonna let me say?
Well, okay. Well, my opinion is this: is that I think as a single mother, it's different from being a married mother, right? Mother with children, because the expectation from that is from a woman is that you have a partner, right? And so
Right.
you have somebody who's going to split, if not, your household 50-50 in
Responsibility.
every way, whether it's financially and or the responsibilities of the household and the kids, right?
Mhm.
Now, realistically, and I see it happen every day. I mean, I have girlfriends who are married, and they'll say, "I feel like they'll look at me and say, how do you do it?" Because they feel like they're single in their marriage. You know what I mean? Because the responsibility is all on them. Like they're going to work still. They're at home taking care of the kids. The expectation is to be a wife and doing wifely duties and not be tired, not be angry, not be irritated all at the same time, doing it with a smile, right? And
Mhm.
so I think that there is just a conversation that you need to have with your spouse so you guys can be aligned. You know what I mean? Because you cannot expect somebody to know what you feel and you're not communicating. And I think that I'm going into those situations. I think sometimes before even, like I said, I've seen it just from outside view. I see people who obviously were single once with no kids, and they get into a marriage, and they thinking all of a sudden that title gives them the ability to that what they thought was going to be the outcome of that title, and a lot of times it's not. The expectations are not set. The alignment is not there, and then you have a lot of times where that's why you have miscommunication and upset, and people are ready to let go because they feel like they're by themselves. So I think it is a stigma where, yes, we as women do take on a lot of responsibility, but I think it would be ideal if those conversations were had before you got together, and you got to constantly have them, not just before you got together, because things change. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you
Sometimes
do.
you have one kid, sometimes you have multiple kids, and things have to change, and you got to rearrange. But I think it's fair to have that conversation, say, hey, I would think ideally it would be if you have kids, whether they're a combined family, you know what I mean, or you guys had them with each other, is to have the expectations and set aside like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. Can you pick up such and such from practice? I'll take them to school, you pick them up. And I think when you have shared responsibilities, then it becomes less frustrating when you get home, because as a parent and as a mother, because we're naturally nurturers, we do want to spend time with our kids, but we also want to come home and decompress too when we've had a really rough day, especially for those of us who are in managerial positions. It's a lot that comes with that, and not to take away from the man, but most times men, even though whether they've had whether they're a laborer or in management or whatever the case may be, any day is going to be stressful for individuals depending on the day. But their expectations when they come home, they get to, take off their shoes and relax. And when we got to immediately get to work, regardless of what kind of work that we've had. So
Yeah, you walk through the door. I know, when my kids were younger, we walk through the door before you even take off your shoe or change your clothes. You in the kitchen getting dinner started, to make sure they eat, a hot meal every day. Because hey, Micah, I was really adamant about making sure that I cooked the dinner every night for my kid. I didn't want him to say, oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some nights you'll buy pizza or something like
right,
that. But for the most part, it was always every day. It was a full course, your protein, your veggies, your starch. You know what I'm saying? Make a meal, make a homemade meal. Because I didn't want And so my mom never cooked, or we always ate out, or we always had to just make our own. I didn't want it to be like that. And that was just something for me because my mom was not a cooker, not because she didn't want to, but child, she didn't know how. You know what I'm saying? So she
Hence
tried.
why Mika cooks so well.
Right, right.
He had to.
Okay, and me and my older sister, had that battle on who's the best cooker because, honey, we had to figure it out. But we naturally, as mothers, we walk through that door. We like, okay, got to get dinner going. Okay, get your homework done. You get this done. And even for stay-at-home mothers, all day long, soon them kids run in the door from school. It's like, okay, now it's time to hit the ground running. We got homework. We got practice, we got whatever it is. I got to hear about the kids' day. We got to get them cleaned up. We got to get them ready for school. We got to get food on the table. We got to get all this stuff like that. And to be truthfully honest, the time between kids coming home from school and getting ready for bed is not that many hours. You really don't have that many hours to push, to squeeze everything in. Right. But then you have the parent, you got the father who walks through the door after work, and he's relaxing, but that's because we didn't already hit the ground running. The kids aren't waiting for dad, they're waiting for mom to get home because mom's going to take care of everything. We have a magic wand. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it was actually tagged to your back when you was born. So just pull your wand out because
it actually comes. It appears when you have children. It comes right as soon as you give birth or your child comes to you. Yeah. That's when the magic wand comes out. It's something that just happened.
And if you notice, kid, you'll tell your kid, go ask your dad. Oh, but daddy's not going, and I don't, and it's just what it is. So we naturally, like you said, Candy, we do take on that. We're naturally, nurturing and all that stuff. So we take on that. But I guess if that's the case, if we're going to take on those roles, and this is just a question, this is not what I'm feeling. I just read this in, Working Mothers. They're actually magazine. They're actually going to be not having the magazine anymore, but it's going to be gone. But where do we say enough is enough? When I walk through the door, I need to have somebody else making dinner for me. I need to sit down and digress. Kids, go talk to the other parent. Do you say, let's split the week up? On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I come in and cook. On the other days, you come in. Do we do that? Do we make it to where we're now setting schedules for ourselves versus it being an organic motion, a rhythm that you get into with your family? Like, how do you, what do you think? Do you think is, hey, set a schedule, or do you think we should have a natural rhythm? What do you guys think about that?
There's always a strive for balance. So I'm going to tell you that now. Now, everybody can't have the same work ethic because everybody don't have the same work ethic or work schedule for that matter. So me being a stylist, my hours vary. So for me to have a conversation with my husband, my hours were long. I could work 12 hours easy. I could go to work at 9 and not leave the shop until 9 that night or even later. So for me, mine was a little different, but I also was able to schedule things in between. So like in between my clients, if the kids need to be picked up from school and dropped off at a practice, I could do that because I could leave my job or tell my client I'll be back or schedule my client around those things. So for me, I always took the brunt of it because my schedule varied. Now, if my husband's schedule was a certain time, let's say he got off at 6, then when he came to get the kids, he would have to take the responsibility of putting them to sleep, getting them dinner, and doing that part. And then I can come home and rest without having to do that. Those times did happen. They weren't scheduled to happen. They just kind of happened because
it's organic.
My days went. I have to schedule that. And it was an understanding because look, 4 or 5 days out the week, this is happening. So you're going to have to, when this happens, this is what's going to happen. But there are going to be days where I don't have to work, which, usually when I worked at the shop was Sunday and Mondays, we didn't really work. So those days were my weekend days. And those days I would do the bulk of trying to get things together. But here's the thing, me being a working mom, I still scheduled things or made sure that the house ran a certain way in my absence.
Of course,
made it work better for my husband. Not like he would turn around and do that for me. So it's always a little different. And it's not like no shade towards him. Like, I'm not saying, oh yeah, you could have did more for me. I'm just saying, us as women, we think about our children, the husband, how the week looks for us. Men don't do that. And we have the same thing. We both want to work. We both got to take care of these kids. We both got to pay these bills. But when you look at the dynamic of a woman to a man, we our brains say,
We foresee it.
"We're
Like
multitasking."
you said, we're playing, and they're in the moment. Men are usually just in the moment, so they can
In
make it
that
happen.
moment,
Not
in
not
that every moment.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
not
So
thinking ahead.
So
Yeah.
here's another thing I read too in Unworking Mothers. There was an article because it was, I guess, like Candy reminded me, it was Women's Month last month. So a lot of their articles were geared towards different type of situations and scenarios that women have that are in. But okay, so as I read too, so do you think that it's fair for men to our husbands, our spouses, our partners, or whatever, to expect that from us, and we not expect that from them? Because a lot of time, well, they did a poll, and a lot of more women. It was what was it? It was 79% of the women state that their spouses or partners have an expectation of them. Yeah, 79% expectation of them to do these things. And when it's not done, they're like, what happened? Like, what are you doing? And they're like, well, I can't, today I'm tired, or whatever the case is. And they're like, well, what are we going to do? It's almost like they don't know how to manage or figure it out if we don't give the plan. Even for them to spearhead, we can give you a plan and say, this is what we need to do for the day. And then they execute it. But if we don't give the plan, and we just one of those days like, whoo, child, I can't do it today. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're lost. Like, how, is that where the whole scheduling thing or the whole organic thing come into play? I mean, that's something you could talk about in advance, like you said, Candy, before you guys get to that point of having kids and stuff. But sometimes you don't have time to really sit down and make that plan, because the child might have been accidental, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or, the life you had before the kid, after the kid came, things have changed. So now,
Well, you once was a stay-at-home mom, now you working.
Right. So, and more women are saying that their husbands are asking them to work, are requiring them, not requiring them. I don't want to say require, but they are helping, expecting or hoping that their wives get out there and work, because everything is so crazy right now.
Because the way life is life, and the way the bills and the inflation on everything, food,
you need
bills,
to,
gas, everything is up.
And you need income.
You know what I would say about that? I would say this. I would say that sometimes in the way that husbands and our partners, you living in the same household, expect us to do certain things. And yes, I would definitely feel like it would be frustrating. It is frustrating as a woman to feel like everything, the brunt falls on us, right? When we talk about the brunt of stuff falling on us, the cooking, the cleaning, the taking care of the kids and nurturing, the taking to the doctors, making an appointment, talking to the school, teaching, all those things, right? And there's a lot more, right? But those are innately instilled in us as a woman, because we're nurturers, right? So I'm just saying, just to play devil's advocate, as a woman who is single and I have to do all that, plus what the man would do, would take out the trash, be the fixer, do all that. So for those who have husbands and spouses, partners living with them, and we take out ourselves, we take out the equation of everything that they would do, right? And is it fair to say that the expectations of roles are just as equal when we talk about men and women, right?
No.
So what I'm saying is that if a man is not, and there's exceptions to every rule, right? I mean, there's exceptions to every scenario, but I'm saying, if you really sit back and think about it, when the woman, if your husband is not taking out the trash, your husband is not, taking care of the car and fixing them, your husband is not, then that's a whole other subject, because if you're doing all of that, plus that, maybe you need to think about another partner. But I'm just saying, innately that those roles are really, like, if we really go back into roles and not just what today's are, even in today's living, they kind of sometimes hone into those things naturally, right? And so,
Uh-huh.
and so what I'm saying is that just as much as we expect of them, they expect of us as well. You know what I mean? So if we didn't have them in the household and we had to take on whatever they did that we didn't think, that we didn't deem as important because we weren't doing it, if we had to do it, it would be that much more we would have to do. That's what I'm saying. So to look at it in that way.
That, I mean, that's true. But to be truthfully honest, and not saying that, you know, it's anybody I know situation, but you do have a lot of men though that are just not that type of men. They're not the ones that get their hands dirty, if I might say. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Right.
you have a lot of women who enjoy that. So I can tell you like that for my situation, you know, at home, even though my husband likes to do, you know, little stuff, I'm the one who will build a table or a chair. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mhm.
Or
I know exactly what you're
paint the
saying. I know
paint the
exactly
room.
what you're saying.
Yeah, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
paint the room or do something. You know, that's I just not. You know, anytime somebody say, "Well, who?" He'd be like, "Talk to my wife." I don't know. She did. You know, so there are women who like to get out there and really, you know, get into that kind of stuff and do little things and build the dang deck out back if they want to. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I guess it's not so much. I don't think it's not so much of that type of responsibility that I think a lot of people are that sparked up this whole conversation in the month of May. I think it's more so the roles of caregiving. You know what I'm saying? And house, taking care of the house and taking care of the bills and taking care of just your daily family life, or and like, you know, life at home. And as a single parent, like you did say, Candy, you do it all. Because
Mm-hmm.
before I got married, I did it all. I took out the trash, I cooked the food, I did, you know, did it all.
Mhm.
Threw a football, even though my son told me don't do that no more. But it's okay, I did it. You know what I'm saying? My point is just those roles are something that we naturally do. So when you get into a relationship and you're with your partner automatically expects you to do that because his mother raised him that way. Do you get what I'm saying? His mother raised him to come to mom if you need something, or mommy's going to take care of it, because that's what we naturally do. So as they grow up, it's in their head that everybody, the
The
kids
wife,
go to
the
mommy,
mom, or the wife.
the
Yeah.
kids go to mommy. How do we get into a habit of saying the kids can come to daddy too? Is it for the man to say, you know what, babe, I got it, let me do this? Or
You would
do
think
you
that.
know?
No, it's not for the men. We're not. If we doing that, we're gonna be holding our breath, and ain't nobody got time for that. So going back to what Candy said earlier, we need to set boundaries, and we have to set new boundaries because as we know, as our children grow, their responsibilities for them is different. As they're toddlers and small diapers, there's a difference. We got to change diapers. Can't leave diapers on too long. They got to be fed. They can't tell you they're hungry. Then we get, you know, our babies, and then get to toddler and 5 and under. They only want McDonald's. Okay, great. And then you get to a point where now they want food between 7 and 12. Now, mommy, are you cooking? What you cooking? What you cooking? And it's always mommy, what you cooking? It ain't never daddy, what you cooking. It's always mommy, what you cooking? Mommy, what you cooking?
Right.
So we have to reestablish a new boundary on what we're doing again, because evidently things are shifting again. And when they start shifting and we see it, us as mothers, as wives, I feel like, especially we taking on the big responsibility, that it's our responsibility again to say, look, you're drowning me.
Right.
Look,
Let's regroup.
you know, you're putting
Okay.
too much on my plate. And I'm not saying your husband should see it, but you know, they'll act like they don't see nothing. They'll act like they don't
Because they
see.
think because you're not standing and they think you're superwoman, right? And so
Yeah.
it's because a lot
And
of
then you
times we feel guilty by complaining, right? So we don't
Mm-hmm.
say anything, we just get frustrated and we take it out on the kids, you know, take it
Mm-hmm.
out on people at work, you know what I mean? And sometimes the husband, you know. And I think to you, what you said with kids, that you know, when things change, you gotta regroup, you know what I mean? Because your kids are at a different age and they have different needs, right? And so do
Right.
you, and so do the husband, right? They have different
Mm-hmm.
needs at different times. So when you guys gotta constantly evaluate what's going on in this partnership, because the partnership is not just you and the husband, it's you, the husband, and the kids, right? And
Right.
at some point, you know, like you said, if I'm expected to cook 7 days a week, and you know that's gonna burn me out, then we got to order at least 3 nights. If you're not gonna cook, husband, and maybe he's not a good cook, maybe he can cook, or maybe he can and he just chooses not to because he's tired and burnt out too from work. But then we got to say, hey, what's realistic for this family? Then we're gonna have 3 days a week or 2 days a week where we're eating out, and that has to just be, it is what it is, because I can't cook every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you. Oh God, I lost my train of thought. I was sitting here thinking about it and I lost my train of thought. It's pretty, you know, just pretty much that you just have to make sure that, I mean, in my opinion, you just have to make sure that as the kids are growing, you make it a habit to say, you know, daddy's responsible for this. Talk to daddy about this. So it's like you're training your kids at a younger age to to help split the responsibility for you. You know what I'm saying? You're instilling that in them, that it's not always mommy, it's daddy too. We you know, at some point we have to, as mothers, in my opinion, let go just a little bit to that whole I'm the mom, is, you know, I'm going to make the calls kind of thing.
Mhm.
And let dad make more of the decisions. Let, you know, your husband or dad make more of the, you know, of the planning, you know, when it comes to the kids. So that way, as your child is getting older, they're not always turning to you for, for that assistance. So as they become adults, they say, I was raised in a household where both of my parents took responsibility for certain things, you know, and we're all, you know, all mothers are guilty of, you know, guilty of just being that, you know, that because we're nurturing. But and if you're single, when you're a single mom, you have no choice. You know what I'm saying? So I think as a single mom, when you're raising a little boy, especially, you know, the one that you want to grow up and be ahead of the household, get him a mentor. Get him a mentor. You know, somebody that you can say, oh, well, hey, you know
if
what?
his grandfather ain't around, because his grandfather should be a mentor. I'm just
Yes.
saying.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like literally, we should.
Uncles,
Yes, we should
grandfathers,
literally be
uncles,
going back
all
into the family.
yeah. Just like they said in women, you know, working mothers, you know, it takes a village to raise kids. That's an old saying, but it's still relevant to this days. A lot of those things that, with, you know, they said back then are still relevant to this day. And a lot of people think, oh, we're making new things up. No, you're not making new things. That all we're doing is taking what's already been put in place and trying to, you know, make it a little bit more current to the situations that we have right now. And then you have more and more women that are starting businesses. So they want to show their young adults or their young kids what it's about to be responsible, to get out there. And because we want our young ladies to make sure that they can be independent as well. You do not have to grow up and depend on your husband or your partner to take care of you. That's not where we want you to go. We want you to say, listen, I tell my kids all the time, and I tell anybody else that I know, anytime you get into a situation where it's your housing, getting a car, buying some clothes, whatever you're doing, if somebody else is going in with you, make sure that if that person was to drop off tomorrow, you can still keep going without them. And just know that being there is just a little bit of help for you. You know what I'm saying? Don't get into a situation where you're gonna be like, "Ooh, I ain't gonna make it if this person ain't here," and then this person leave, and now you can't make it. Now you're stuck because you can't control what the other person's gonna do. So, as young ladies, do not grow up and think, "Oh, I'm gonna marry somebody, gonna take care of me, everything's gonna be good." Because then when you find yourself, Lord forbid, God forbid, you find yourself in a situation where you're now by yourself, this person has left you and you have no clue, no money, no nothing to support yourself, no means. Then you looking crazy. Now you want to say, oh, he ain't right, or this. Don't do that to yourself. Don't start yourself off like that. And as mothers, we need to make sure we instill into our little girls that as you grow up, make sure you're prepared to be an equal partner in a relationship. You can't get into that because you can't get into there thinking that, oh, it's all this man's
gonna take care of you
to take care of me. No, baby. No, because if you can't take care of yourself, how can somebody else take care of you? If you cannot take care of yourself, how do you expect somebody else to take care of you?
Dang, the bread.
Right, I know, right? So we want to make sure as while our kids are younger, as we are working mothers, let your child see what you're doing. Let them know what your work is about. Talk to them about and it helps not only give them a sense of independence, you know, learning to be independent, but it also helps them to know that when you grow older, you have a choice. You have a choice to do whatever it is you want to do. And the only person that can make it happen is you. And as working moms in the industry too, you hear about the mothers that's in the industry talking about how hard it is for them to be, you know, an actor, actress, single, whatever, leaving their kids, touring. Some of them are starting to take their kids on tour with them now, you know, because it's like, I want my baby here with me. You know what I'm saying?
It's called guilt. We get guilt. It's guilt.
Yeah,
and that's another thing too. I don't know if the husbands, the fathers, have as much guilt as we do as working mothers, because us working mothers, we do feel guilt, and we will, when we feel that way, we will overcompensate on buying them things and trying to buy them a computer or buying them a basketball court or something that, you know, overcompensating. I'm not saying those things are not, you know, maybe they say they got an iPad, but now you want to go buy them a computer because you feeling guilty, which the iPad and the computer do the exact same thing, but you feeling guilty. So now you gonna go buy this big computer thinking that's going to fulfill something in your, because you're working, but it really don't. So you don't have to do that. Yo, just teach your kids that, look, I'm working to provide for you, and this is what I'm doing, and you're going to learn and grow one day to do the same thing I'm doing. And hopefully you don't have to work as hard to provide for a kid, you know, as hard as I have to work. And I have 5 children, so y'all know I worked hard, and I'm still working hard. 17 and 14. 17 and 14.
Right.
Woo! The last of the Mohicans. But I'm saying that to say, I just want my kids to have to do better than I did. And I'm going to pat myself on the back. I got this far with my husband's help as well. And I never felt guilty. I'm going to say that. I didn't feel guilty. One, I felt great that I had a job that my kids could come to. Like, you know, like how actors could do that, you know, they can bring them on the set or whatever. Everybody is not able to do that. So I was really able to take my kids and they could come to the shop. They would call them shop babies. So my baby were shop babies, and it was fine. And then when I stopped working at the shop, I worked at home and I created my own schedule. So for me, I was very blessed to be in the position I was, and I still did work. I did still worked on the side. Miko could tell you. I work with Miko, but I did do other jobs outside of just doing hair. But it's just, man, I don't wish men can be feel as guilty as we do, but I wish they could feel some of the burden we feel when we do spend time away from our kids, because they don't do that. That's how when they come home and I just need to take a load.
But I think, to your point, I think the reason why we feel so guilty because the other parent doesn't pick up the slack. And we were rest assured that they were just as nurturing and attentive and, you know, present with the child as we were or are, then we wouldn't feel as guilty when we're not around.
And to your point, Candy, that is so true. I have a couple of clients. Shout out to John. I always tell him when he's and Ravion and John, they just had their second baby. When I tell y'all that they babies are 2 and a baby, I think 2-year-old and a baby, and they're 2 girls. And when I tell you, he's the best dad I've ever seen in my whole entire life, and I'm 51. He's the best dad I've seen in my entire life, and his baby is 2 and baby. Like, I literally watched this man come home from work. Like, I go do his wife's hair. He comes home from work. He grabs the baby. I seen his baby. I watched him wash his babies. This before he had the little baby, when the 2-year-old. He came home and grabbed the baby, washed her hair in the sink, took the baby, fed her, gave her a bath, did everything. You hear what I'm saying? And it wasn't like Ravion had to say nothing to him. It was like, he been with the baby all day. She getting her hair done. I got her. And then now he got another little girl. And when I tell you on point, I mean, he would come home, walk the baby, walk the dog and walk the baby. like literally, like I was like,
he's enjoying fatherhood. He's
enjoying it. And I'm hoping it's contagious. I'm hoping and, you know, they're young parents. I mean, they both college graduates, both working parents, both working. And it was so refreshing to see him enjoy fatherhood and do what we're saying, like
Mm-hmm.
really knowing his partner, seeing what's going on with her, and watching the fact that look, she's been with the kids all day or with the baby all day. When I come home, yeah, I went to work, but she's been with the baby all day. That
But
means she
that
may
baby was
not
on his
have a
mind when
break.
he was that baby was on his mind when he was at work. He couldn't wait to get home for that baby.
That too,
Mhm.
like he's not like he at least got a lunch break. He got a break at
Yeah.
work, he got two
Right.
breaks, and he got a lunch break.
Right.
His wife may have not ate that day because the
Mm-hmm.
baby would have been crying. The baby
Mm-hmm.
probably took a 10-minute nap, not a 15-minute or 30-minute nap. Like, and he knows that. So with that, it's like I just appreciate him in that moment to even know as a new father, like you are so hands-on. And it's, I don't know if they had to talk, probably did, but I'm just saying it's just, yes, women, young women, please, 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 please. Don't just assume that your husband is just gonna know your every beck and call. You really do need to have a conversation with him and let him know, like, we had these babies, what we gonna do and how it's gonna look, and almost scare him if you need to, like literally, yeah, it's gonna be you. And no, the baby not just gonna suck on my breast the whole time. Yeah, you're gonna have to, I will pump and you will feed the baby too. Like there's just like so many things that need to be talked about. So yeah, just educate you guys yourselves. And there are men out there. We are not talking about all men. There
Right,
are
right.
men that are out there.
There are definitely a lot of men out there that can
Yeah.
that we can say
Look,
do really pick up the pick
it's
up
like
that
picking up this slack.
and pick up the
Handling their
slack,
side
and
of their
and
responsibility.
and they will analyze and evaluate their family needs and how things operate, based on the leadership from the mom, of course, what I'm saying. And then then a lot of times they'll just fall into place without you even having to tell them. So again, there are men out there that will, make that happen. But you got to make sure that we're continuously talking to the kids, and teaching them, the right thing. Don't just think that I see a lot of times, and I've come across it, and it's confusing to me, where parents will say, you knew better than that, or you knew not to do that. No, I didn't. Did anybody teach me? You know what I'm saying? Just like you go to school and learn how to live, you know how to live life as a professional. You are teaching your kids at home how to be how to be a human, how to be a person. How to come into their personality and right from wrong. They don't know right from wrong yet until you teach them. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? It drives me crazy when people say they knew better. Did they? Did you ever tell them? Did you ever say this is, it's important to work. It's important to, take pride in yourself. It's important to do this. Did you teach your child that? Because if you didn't, then they're not going to know. You can't expect for them to automatically know it just because they were born. So I always say, look, at I think it was 10 or 11 years old, I was teaching my son how to write a resume. I taught him how to build a resume. At 10 or 11, I had the drill team. We did etiquette classes for the kids, so they can know how they went through interviewing processes, so they can learn how to interview. You know what I'm saying? They can learn how to write their resume. They can learn how to answer the questions. The one thing I tell people all the time, when you get out there in that working world and you're talking to people, nobody likes to hear you think out loud. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where a lot of men start to say women, fall short at, because we think out loud, because we get out there and we start saying, you know what I mean? No, I don't know what you mean. And when you keep saying, that means you're searching for an answer. I always tell them, never go out there blind, never go out there without doing mock interviews, mock setup. Give yourself the opportunity to learn how to spit your game on cue. Like I said before, I think I said in a couple of shows before, this world out here is nothing but a game board. We are all little game pieces in this little world. We are all being moved around by, what I'm saying, society. So if we don't know how to maneuver and move, and we keep going the wrong direction, we're going to lose the game. And we don't want to lose the game because we're not listening or paying attention or being willing to take in stuff from other people. We're going to lose the game because we just was being hard-headed and just didn't want to do it. But you're not going to tell me that nobody ever taught you, because me as your mother, and I go to work every day, I come home every day, and I still sit with you and work with you and talk with you. Your father does it the same, the same thing. You need to make sure that you soak all this in and utilize what part of my teachings will work for what you want in life. I'm not saying that everything has to happen, because as a working mom, we all get taught all these different things. And at the end, we figure out what's our passion and what route we're going to take in this world when it comes to our careers and our lives and how we want to do things. And from that, we teach our kids how to be independent and how to be successful versus how to be them. Don't teach your child how to be you, because they're not you.
Yeah, no.
They're not you. They are a whole totally different person. And so as parents, when you walk through the door, I used to, ask my son, what you want for dinner? Give me a list of the things you like. And then throughout the week, we're going to put some things together that works for the both of us. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to take in consideration that as a child, just because I came home from work and I'm tired, I'm exhausted, that doesn't mean that I have to I have to say, you know what, even though you don't like this, you're going to eat it anyway. I don't like it. So why are you forcing me? Because I like it. That's not how it goes. So as parents, and when we're out there working and we're doing things, we get frustrated and we get to that point to where we're just like, the kid's going to do what I say because I said so. And that's just it. That's not prepping your kids to be that independent person when they get older, so they can learn and understand how to work and how to maneuver and how to be a parent and a working parent at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's most important. And they talked about that in working mothers. I mean, they even have one, I'm looking here with the one with Michelle Obama, the one that she was in, and her basically saying that it was hard. It was hard for her to, figure out how to make that happen, especially being the first lady and having so much responsibility and people looking at her for all these answers. How do I still live up to my job and still teach my kids at the same time? Well, her thing was, okay, so everything that I'm teaching my kids, I'm delivering to these people out here too. So I'm teaching my kids while I'm teaching everybody else, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what she said. And here it says, she never feel guilty. You said that word, and she says it's right here. Never feel guilty for having to miss something here and there. Because we are human. We are human. We cannot magically pull the wand out and make things happen. But we still want to be respected and treated equally when it comes to that playing ground with raising kids and working. So moms versus dads, moms take on, in my eyes, moms take on way more, and dads need to step it up.
Candy, what you think? What's your bottom line?
No, I do think that moms take on a lot more, but we and you said it in so many words before, is that we teach people how to treat us. And if we don't, and that means that we teach our husbands, we teach our people at our job, and we teach our kids, and we teach them that. Something you said earlier on is that a lot of times we as women take on what is my way and what I say go, and then we're teaching them. We don't realize it, but we're teaching our kids. They don't have the last say. Guess who had the last say? Mama. Mama had the first and last. So guess what? They're gonna come to you. So I think that as women, we got to be mindful of that. And then whatever this, obviously, when you guys have disagreements, or when you shouldn't do it in front of the kids. I think communication needs to be constantly had through your relationships. Things change, and you got to readjust. And I think that's going to be the key, is communicating and readjusting as needed at the development of your kids and the needs of you as parents. When you have different types of jobs and or situations going on in your household, and don't judge. Don't judge your situation by what somebody else is doing, because what works for you might not work for the next person, and they have their thing going on which works for them, but what works for you is going what works for you and your spouse and your family. So I think be mindful of that.
Think of it like this: as when you're at work, or you have your business and you're running your business, or you at work and you're working, doing whatever it is you're supposed to be doing, and you have to work with other people. And I mentioned this before too. You got to understand. I think the one thing a lot of people, in my opinion, I say that a lot because it's just my opinion, but in my opinion, I think what a lot of people fail to realize is that we are working with an actual human being. I'm able to touch you. I'm able to talk to you. I'm able to, communicate with you, but it's not your physical that I have to work with. Technically, it's your personality. It's who you are inside. So I need to first Let me learn this person. Let me have a conversation with this person and find out how I can work with somebody at work. You like, okay, I know that person don't like this, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it this way. I know that person like to do this. I'm gonna do it. You learn how to, maneuver and work at work with your coworkers or with your boss or with your subordinates, and figure out how to make that happen.
Right.
Your work family. They always say that. My work family, this, my work family, that. Well, how about when you get home, you practice the same thing? How about when you get home, you learn your kids, you learn their likes and their dislikes, you learn your husband, or your spouse, their likes and their dislikes, and then you create the plan that's going to work with how they operate. So even though they don't realize you are actually manipulating it, you know what I'm saying, as the person that is the go-to person in the house, which is the mom, you actually are, but you're doing it in a way where it works for all of them. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I know my husband, okay, when he get home, or my spouse, he gonna get home, they're gonna want to sit for like 15, 20 minutes. So I'm gonna put here on the schedule, boom, we got to make sure this happens at this time. That still gives him his 15, 20 minutes to sit. And now it's time to get up and let's go. And that gives him the opportunity to feel like he got a chance to die, to kick back
Decompress.
for his
Yeah.
time. Right. And then get up and let's get going. Give them the opportunity to say, okay, well, mom hears me, mom knows what I'm talking about and everything. So we don't always have to go to her. She already made a plan. We got it together. But if we do not set it up there to where I said we're going to do it this way, this is how it's going to happen. When you come home from work, you are going to be exhausted because you didn't schedule it to where you were able to come home and sit down for 10, 15, 20 minutes before you have to start doing something else. Put it in motion. And once your kids start seeing the pattern and how you work and how you operate, they're going to pick that up. They're going to soak that in, and they're going to say, okay, it's time for us to start planning our day, going to dad for things. And even if the dad's not in the home, even if you're a single mom, okay, well, I know I got to call dad to do XYZ. If dad's not there, okay, I got to work with the plan mommy is giving. Mommy is giving us a schedule and a plan. Let me keep that plan, because if we break that, it's going to disrupt what's going on, So in full circles essentials, are you speaking from a single mother or father household, or two parent in the same home point of view? Who gets the last say? Technically, I was a single mom. My son was pretty much grown before I got married. So I raised my son in a single home. So I'm speaking from, I guess, both sides, of the spectrum, because I did not have his father around to help me do things, but I still wanted to make sure he understood, as a young man growing up, when you become an adult and you start having your own family, it's not just going to be the responsibility of your child's mother to do everything. You have to step in. You have to be a part of this. You have to make yourself, include yourself in this, and make sure that the person knows, yes, but shouldn't everyone? Yes, everyone should be included. That's what I'm saying. The conversation. So basically, right now, the point I'm trying to make is that as kids, as working parents, mothers and fathers out there, it's our responsibility to teach our kids as they're growing up that the responsibility should be on both sides of the parental, care. It shouldn't just be on mom. It shouldn't just be on dad. It should be on both sides. And if you're in a single parent household where the father's not around, then the child bring your child to understand, like, okay, we have a schedule we need to tend to. It's just you and I. Mommy got to make sure we get all this knocked out and taken care of. But I need your help on your end as the kid to be open to, all right, we got to move this around. We can't do this day. We got to do this day. Teach your kids to know that planning is important when it comes to your household, just like anything else. You can't just wake up every day and know how the day is going to go. You have to plan your day. And not always, the plan doesn't always work. Sometimes you got hiccups in it. Sometimes things will throw a monkey wrench in it. But the fact that you have something to start with, and you can then fix whatever does happen, if anything does go wrong, then you understand. You know how to make those changes real quick. You know how to fix that problem. You know how to think fast on your feet. But when we don't teach our kids to, you know, stick to a plan, or let's work together, or and they just, I want, as they become adults,
Dictating.
what they're going to expect.
Pretty much like dictating, like you were saying. Like everybody needs to be included. That's like when I see what Full Circle Essential said. When you say everybody be included, it has to be everybody. That's just not even the parent working parents. We have to
Yes.
include the kids in this because
Yes.
we are bringing them up. They need to be able to come to both parents. We gotta, like, we us women have to put our pride aside and say, look, even though we think we are super women and we can take it all in, even though at the end of the day we be like so tired and oh my
Yep.
God, I can't believe we did all that, and I didn't even ask the husband. He could have took some of this off our plate. We got to stop doing that.
Yep.
We can be super women, but we don't have to be.
Right.
Which hence gets back to how we raise the children.
Yep.
For them to come ask both the parents, not just the mother, what we eating, what we have for dinner tonight, Dad, not Mom, what we having for dinner. Like,
Right.
we have to retrain the whole household. The whole household has to be in on it. It's just not a mother and father thing. It's not a mother to child thing, a father to child thing. It's the whole enchilada. Everybody has to be included, and everybody has to have their own brain. And that's why we are teaching the kids to not just look for mom, especially in the working mom position.
Right.
Because a working mom position, I'm telling y'all, it's different. And let's be clear, I am the one. I'm married. I mean, she's married. Mika's married too. But she's been a single mom. She was a single mom for a while. And so with me, I've been a single mom for my first 2 children. And then when I had my 3 younger children, I was married. So it still was a lot. And I still put a lot on my plate. I am very guilty of the thing that we're trying to convey to people right now, which is crazy, which is I took a lot of responsibility off my husband's plate because that's just who I am as a person. I think I can do it all. I can go to work. I can come home and cook. I can put the kids to bed, and I can chill out and be a wife to my husband. I did that. Did I have to do it like that? No. Why was I doing that?
Because we just fall in line. We just fall in line as mothers.
We just do. And we got to get out of that mindset. We don't want to do that all the time. That's not something we want to do. That's something that we need to reprogram ourselves and reprogram our daughters to say, look, you can be all things, but you don't have to be all things at all times. You don't have to. It's okay to be equipped with all those things. But let's be clear. We do want to be 100% a woman when you meet that 100% man. So y'all can be 100% or 100% to make this marriage. And that's how it should work. But we also have to teach our daughters and our sons, but teach them to definitely be partners. And definitely, if you're both gonna work, the responsibility of the household still is both of you guys have to do the household. Just like you both work and paying the bills, you both got to do the kids, you both got to do the housework. Just how it is.
Well, you know what I used to do. This is just what I used to do when I was a kid. I used to let the boy, my son, hey, you want to cook dinner tonight? He said, yes, Mom. Don't come on in here. Not only did he learn how to cook, but he learned that sometimes mommy, is exhausted and you can help out too. Now, mind you, we had to take some deep breaths after we ate those meals, but it was okay. It was the fact that he thought enough to say, you know what, my mom's going to be tired today. Let me help her out, and he was doing this at, 13, 14 years old. So it's like, I was so appreciative. I said, oh my God, that's good. So when you get older, don't you get in there with nobody and think that woman supposed to cook for you every day. And, you better help out too. So when he did get into his relationship with his, now former girlfriend, but girlfriend, when they was at how he was cooking, honey. He was cooking full meals for her. He was cleaning for her. He was doing the laundry for her, and I'm saying that to say, whoo, Lord, he listened to something that I said, because I need to understand that as a young man, do not put all that responsibility on that woman. You need to help her out. You guys need to balance that. God forbid you have any children out of wedlock. He hasn't had any yet, but God forbid you do. We've all been through that. I did, a lot of us did. But if it happens, please make sure you're present, because just like you're going to work every day, she's going to work every day. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're present. Make sure you're there. He keeps, he always say, yeah, when I have kids, I'm okay. Well, I'm glad. Keep on saying it. He about to be 30. So keep on talking that. Keep on talking that with no kids yet. But hopefully everything that I instilled in you and everything that you've been practicing, you take into your relationship when you do have kids. You take into that relationship when you do get married, and understand that if you expect for your wife to work, or if you want to, I'm not going to say expect, but you want to support the fact that she wants to work. That's the other thing. She wants to get out there. She wants a career. Support that and help her out too at home, because her income is going to benefit just like yours is going to benefit. So we both got to, take care of this household together. Don't think that it's just going to be on her to make everything happen. So I hope he keeps that in mind. He practicing it a little bit, and I hope he keeps it in mind, because we have so many more women out there that are really either becoming head of households and they're the working parent and the father is at home parent, but still come home and do a lot of the responsibilities that she would have done if she was a stay-at-home mother. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not taking anything away from our dads, because our fathers, our men, they're trying very hard. The ones that are out there to do what they know best. But again, they're not natural nurturers. You know what I'm saying? They're not the ones that, the kids, turn to and cry all the time. So that's why it's important that we raise our kids to understand that daddy is just important. Daddy, has a lot to offer. Dad has a lot he can teach you. And so you can go to dad as well. Dad want to go to ballet class with you. Yes, he does. Absolutely. So yeah, it's just
true. We gotta give it up for him. Yeah. And the cool thing, the other thing, the dynamic about what's going on with this panel is that I have 5 kids, and these 2 ladies here both have one girl, 1 boy. So
I have 2.
She does have 2. She has, well, if we gonna do that, then I have 8. Okay.
I have my baby girl.
So let's go there. Let's do that. She does have 2. She actually does have two children. And Candy has her daughter, and then I have my 5, and I have my bonus children as well. I have 3 bonus children. So, but with that being said, the dynamic is so much different for them and for me. Like my dynamic is so much different. How I had to raise my children, and being a young parent and then being an older parent. Like, I don't even think I raised my children the same. Like, and that's a whole nother dynamic.
Yeah.
That'll be another thing. Young mother versus older mother.
Excuse me, guys.
God bless you. But you know what I mean? Because I was totally different with the 2 sets of children. Of course, my older children will tell you right now, yeah, you let the younger children get away with murder. I could never. You would never let me. I said, I know.
But that's what happens.
Different day and time. It's a different day and time, right?
That's what happens when you grow up with your kids, because we did. We have to grow up with our kids. You know what I'm saying? Truth be told, so we learning how. We got to learn first before we can teach you, but we trying to learn and make sure we soak in the right information to pass on to you. So you couldn't get away with sticking your toe, in the deep end of the pool, if you can't swim, you can't swim, don't stick your toe in the pool, not knowing that that's not going to hurt you. But as we're learning, we're trying to teach them. But as you get older, you've went through so much, you've learned so much, you've, seen so much. So now you can, teach your kids differently. So the whole, like you said, the younger ones get a whole new, just like the grandbabies. My grandbaby, honey, my daughter say all the time, you wouldn't let us get away with that. Well, you're right, because I didn't know what to expect. Now I know what to expect, and
this is what I tell her. You're not my granddaughter. You're not my grandson. I don't have any grandsons, but that's my favorite thing. As soon as they throw that in my face and be like, well, you're not my granddaughter. So if you were my grandchild, you would be this what you would get. But because you're my daughter, no, you don't get
it's a different. But you know what? You popped up Nola's and hi, Miss Nola. You popped up Nola's comment. I want to say, you gosh darn right. You know what I'm saying? And you know what's funny? The kids think it's a treat when daddy come around, or daddy come home, or daddy pick them up. It's a treat. But when mommy is like, oh, back to work. back to
chores,
work,
back to what I gotta do.
homework. Yes, mommy is a prize too. But you know what? I guess that goes to say, before we start wrapping things up, Mother's Day, they say they do more for Mother's Day than they do Father's Day. They always say mothers get the best gifts and mothers get the best treatment on Mother's Day. Oh, we praise Mother. Father's Day. Oh, have Father's Day. That you hear men talk about that all the time.
Say it again. You hear the who?
You hear
the
men talk about it. But how
men.
about you gonna get the same type of gift when your baby gets sick and you the one running in and out that room and staying up all hours of the night and still getting up to go to work, taking time off during the day to run from work to take the child to the doctor and then get back to work or take the rest of the day off work. Don't forget crying fine.
And don't forget the shaping of these nipples either. Don't forget, is your nipple shaping? Did your nipple chafe? Because mine was freaking dead.
So okay, Daddy, you want to go out to brunch and you want them to shower you with gifts. You deserve it, absolutely. You come in here and do what mommy is doing. I'm not taking nothing from you guys. I'm just saying that, like she said, like Tamara Mari was saying. Well, she's not Mari anymore. I can't think of her last name right now. I do apologize about that. But like she was saying, it's so different. It's so different when, mommy takes the lead and when daddy takes the lead. And as a working mom, when you come in and you see something's wrong with your child or your child needs something or your child is asleep before you even get a chance to say goodnight, it hits harder for us as mothers than it does as fathers. And I think, some fathers are starting to see that now.
She's looking at herself y'all. She's looking at herself. Yeah. That's how she's moving around. She's
are starting to see that now. And it's becoming, a more, relevant conversation in a lot of different households and situations and everything. But child, honey, we can go on and on and on about our opinions on this subject, working moms versus working dads. But we're not going to drag it out too much anymore. But I appreciate everybody that came to the table with us today. If you have any comments, make sure you guys leave it after you watch the show. We were more than welcome. I'm more than happy to be to answer them or to give you our feedback. But no, again, like we always say, these are our opinions on the subjects that matter. These are subjects that are discussed across everywhere. It was a subject of a very a big subject going on within the last 2 months, and I guess because last month was Women's Month, and they talked about it a lot on different channels and different magazine and news paths. Excuse me, I'm thinking out loud again, but it's just something that's important for us to talk about when we're out here talking about the Me Too moment and the women's rights and all of this stuff like that. We need to make sure that we talk about the working part of it, the being a working mom and that responsibility, and how do we get our kids to understand how important it is for us to take on equal roles in these situations when we are in these days.
Let's go say it again. Equal roles. Equal roles is what we're talking about. Hey, sister. And yes, your niecey Pooh is taking over the show.
Role. So guys, what you got anything else to add to this topic, honey child? Because like I said, we can go on for days with this one.
No, I think we all said a mouthful. I mean, I just think that roles got to constantly be discussed, obviously, before you get into the relationship and start having children. And expectations, that's first and foremost. And then obviously you got to constantly adjust as time goes on, because the different needs and wants change. So if we constantly having conversation and communicating with one another, whether you're single and raising a two household parent, or are you together and you have a mother and father? Because I tell you, a lot of women who I know who are married still feel single in their relationship with their kids. So it's not it's not just the single person by themselves. So but I think as women, we have a lot to do with that. Again, it's setting expectations and choosing the right partner in the beginning, and also having conversations to level set and not undermining the other parent, which is the man, right? And so do that a lot of the times as women, if we really be honest with ourselves, and because we want to take the role of what I say go, and it's my child, but then when you need help, it's our child. So we got
Right.
those situations.
Let daddy have
And
his
also
say.
be a unit together in front of that child, because kids, and as you know, kids know how to play parents.
Come on
So
now.
they know who the parent who was going to let them get away with stuff, and who to go to for what they who's not going to let them get away with it. And so,
Yep.
but if you're a united front in front of that kid, they don't have that choice. And then you can reprimand them later, or you can come together, and you guys can get to discuss that separately, but not in front of the kid, because you always want to have a united front. So that's
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they don't think they can play you, because they will try to play you. These kids will try to play you. You see this kid?
Yeah.
Kids will try
They
to play
will.
you.
right.
So, child, you guys, I have to say, ladies, this was an awesome topic. Yes, it was.
Absolutely.
Hey, Miss Tamra.
Hey, Tammy, it's my
Thank
bestie.
you so much for joining us at the table. Yes, this was a good topic,
And you too.
and it plays to hi,
That's my sis.
Auntie. Who's that?
That was Nita. That's my sister.
Oh, hi, Nita. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us at the table. Yes, it was a good topic, and it's something, like I said, we can go on for days and days. And it's just this is our opinion on the topics that are discussed in the world today. And right now, if you guys do some research, you will see that it's a really hot topic right now. A lot of people are talking about it, just like I pointed out on the Working Mothers magazine. They talked a lot about it. Read Michelle Obama's article from that magazine as well. It was really good, and it really gives you some insight on somebody who has a really heavy job that she was carrying as first lady, and how she managed to still be able to have some say in her kids' life, and see some things and not miss too much by, like she said, the teachings that she gave to everybody else, that everybody looked to her for, is the same teachings that she gave to her kids. So it was almost like everybody was learning, how she raised her children publicly. You know what I'm saying? Because she was showing us the same thing. So with that being said, everybody check out Women's Working Mothers magazine. Make sure you read about that. They Jennifer Hudson and the Jennifer Hudson show, and oh my goodness. Oh Lord, they did the topic and The View. Sorry, Jennifer and the View. They touched on this topic. Go back, you can find their shows on YouTube and watch and see what they talked about, and how emotional it was for a lot of these women that are working and that are having such a hard time dealing with this. And check it out, just read about it, so we can all have an understanding, and we can all feel like we have some input, or just take a little bit back. It never hurts to take teachings back and information back that other people give you when it comes to raising your kids or doing certain things. You're never too old to learn some things. You can learn every day, all day. But anywho, this was awesome. Thank everybody for showing up at the table with us today. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Share the channel. Let everybody know. Jump on this thing here, and let's have a conversation. And that's what we do. If you have any brunch ideas or food ideas, bring them to the table. We'll love to hear. We would love to try them out, and give you feedback on what we thought about your brunch idea. I'm quite sure everything will be awesome. And if there's nothing else, ladies, you guys are all good.
Yep. Sorry, my grandbaby was like, I want my pediatrician. So when the kids came together. Thank y'all for joining us. We appreciate everybody that's been in our chat. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe to our channel. And we will see y'all in like 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.
Wait.
2 weeks? Oh, wait.
No. This week. Y'all getting us double up.
No. It's 2 weeks.
No.
It's 2 weeks. Yeah.
This is the first Sunday. That's the wrong week off, because the first Sunday is next Sunday of July. Tomorrow's July 1st. The first Sunday is. Never mind.
It is.
I'm gonna let them have it.
It is.
We'll see y'all soon. Yeah, that's what I said. We see y'all soon. We see y'all in the next one. Love y'all.
Bye.